unfortunately, we still have no garage, just a basement. So we're gonna have to make do with this brief beta update. Handheld, and it's still the garage, or the basement garage. I will say great news. I don't know what I look like right now. Great news. Just yesterday, the electrician and the HVAC subcontractors were in this room with me, as well as my GC, going through all the stuff we have to do for the build. That deserves its own video with like a screen share of what we were going to do. That deserves like, once I've signed the contractor's contract for the home rebuild remodel, I'll do a deep dive video on this entire journey. Because it's been a really cool journey and I want to document it just for me 20 years from now. But this is a beta build video. So let's go back to the future living room. My future living room, which is this. All right, so I've already talked about this bike. It's a 2018 Beta 390 Race Edition that I bought from Harry. So much great stuff has happened, but mostly just a lot of parts have shown up. All right, so as I showed in my last video, we have these Moto Z Tractionator IT on the front that are installed with new tubes. And we have the Moto Z Endurance Race rear tires are on. The shop I went to didn't have the size wheel weights that I needed, so I had to buy those and have them rebalance them. So I drove 30 minutes each way to Claremont, New Hampshire twice. Once to mount the tires and tubes, and then I had to go back for the balancing. Yes, when I do the build, I'll have a tire mounter and balancer set up, but I don't have that right now. So, oh well, there's that. So that's finally done. And if you look at the bike, that's all that's been done. The suspension is currently in California at beta suspension. They are taking the race suspension that was ordered, special orders from the guy that purchased the bike originally. I'm the third owner. He ordered it with beta race components. It was an extra $2,000 he spent for that Öhlins rear shock and the front forks. I had 2 leaking fork seals. Also, the valving wasn't for my riding style. It was for more hair scrambles. He's a pretty fast racer, this guy. And then also the springs and weight, oil weight, wasn't to my liking either. So mailed those off. I've given Beta Racing like $12.50 for the whole job to refresh those things. So that'll be about 2 weeks. I'll get those back. In the meantime, we have Polysport Plastics. This is a 2018, and Beta has discontinued all of these parts. And so I ordered a headlight. I don't know the parts for it from Beta, and all they had in stock was a headlight mask. So I had to order the rest from Polysport to get replica stuff here. Again, oh well, it's fine. No big deal. Seat Concepts has mailed me my seat cover for that Comfort XL seat. So I've got that fitted. It's not stapled down yet, but it is fitted. So unfortunately, the old seat was pretty. It had Beta on the side and big letters. All Seat Concepts has for that now is just the standard boring black seat, which it's fine. It's okay. We've ordered our radiator cooling kit. That's come in. The cooling fan for the 4-stroke kit that plugs right in. Obviously engine ice as well, because we're going to need to flush the coolant to do that. Replacement hand guards from Acerbis. We've also going to replace the silencer protection felt, as well as the silencer guard. As you can see here, this is cracked. So I had to order felt, and then the guard. The guard is somewhere around here, but the guard as well is going to go over this the silencer here. I'll do an FMF full suspension eventually, but yeah. Also arrived is the rear mud guard, so that'll be replaced. That's also arrived. So that's there. We also have a rear license plate mount has arrived, so that's come in. Obviously, we have the plastics. New lithium-ion battery. We also have a new battery strap has arrived, which is this guy right here. Heavy-duty battery strap, because he was holding it down previously with zip ties. We have received our hammerhead brake lever, as well as our hammerhead shifter. We have our fuel tank plugs. Here's that new exhaust cover. Transmission oil, brake fluid. We have an oil change kit as well for the Beta with all the filters. We have the new decals for the 2018 Race Edition decals have come in. Those are here. The front headlight mask has also arrived. This one is just broken. It was held on with zip ties. There's no, that plastic there is broken. So we ordered that as well. That has arrived. Here is our touch-up paint for the frame, license plate holder, and our front headlight straps. Those are here. We have our speed sensor, which is torn off from the other bike. Also in here is a adapter that allows you to hook up the speed sensor to the Voyager Pro that we have, which is awesome. So I have a Voyager Pro that's going to go on the bike, and this way I can do GPS or actual speed. This is our shift lever. It's a plus 5 millimeters. I'm a size 13, so we have a new shift lever from Hammerhead. And then finally, we have our moto-minded plug and play with dimmer Baja Squadron Pro headlight for low and high beam. So that's pretty cool. Over here, new Acerbis frame guards are going on the bike. New lower chain guard. I'm actually thinking about, so that would be this thing right here. Right? I think it's this thing that we're replacing. That's the upper chain guard. Maybe it's this guy down here. It's kind of chewed up. I was thinking about, maybe it's this thing. Yeah, that's torn. I was thinking about ordering the TM Designs guide, as well as a new case saver, as well as ordering new front and rear sprockets and a chain. Just replace the whole drive system. It's unnecessary, but it's almost like a while I'm in here kind of thing. I'll just go ahead and do it. It'll be like $250 or something total. We have a new air filter in as well. What I have not ordered is this engine cover here. I'm gonna keep that as is for this riding season, but I'd like to replace this eventually. Obviously, this is being replaced too. We have the Recluse, so we'll get a new clutch slave cylinder and Recluse and clutch pack going in there. And then on this side, that will obviously be replaced with a Recluse clutch cover, which will be super nice to do that as well. Man, I would love to replace this with an FMF sound bomb and exhaust, but we'll just keep that stock as now, because it does require a tune on this model. We have our AXP skid plate in beautiful red. I thought about going black, but I went full red on that. What else do we have here? Yeah, of course, we have the Trail Tech Voyager Pro. Under here is the Radius CX Recluse that will be going on. Here's that old seat concept seat that was torn, but you can see how it used to have that bait on the side with that red trim. I liked it a lot, but see how this is kind of torn up, so we have that replaced. Air filter, a couple other ignition sensor things. For the Voyager, Trail Tech Voyager Pro, we're gonna have to, I believe, we're going to do all this at the same time. We're going to install that new radiator cooling fan right here. And then we're going to have the Trail Tech Voyager Pro line. It goes down here. You cut your coolant hose, and then you put the Trail Tech Voyager Pro heat sensor between those two lines as well. Yeah, and so the last thing that I really haven't figured out yet, I'd love to get your advice on, that's not really, I also have new mirrors from Double Take. So I'll have two mirrors, one for each side from Double Take will also be going on. Oh, and grips. We have grips. They're somewhere over there. Did I miss them? I have grips over here somewhere. I just don't know where they are. But new grips as well. Yeah, so the one thing that I'd like to get your advice on, and yeah, why am I doing new hand guards? Because these are just busted. I don't know. They just look like shit. I'd like to get your advice on is the frame. So I found a guy in southern New Hampshire that for $1,000, right? For $1,000, he'll take down your entire dirt bike, put it on his lift. In his thing, what he says, he actually ends up blasting and repowder coating the entire frame. In that $1,000 is basically all of his labor and doing that, as well as valving the forks and stuff like that. What I need is I suppose a beta about this. This frame is dented, right? It's dented right there. Not a big deal. It's just dented right there, but it's chipped in a few places. I ordered touch-up paint, which may not be enough touch-up paint. We have a lot of cracks in the paint. Beta will sell me a new frame for about $1,250. I have to do it through a dealer because they want to verify ownership of the bike, that I own the bike, and then the dealer will order the frame that Beta in California will stamp with the VIN number. Makes total sense. I get that. I don't know. Am I out of my element doing a frame replacement myself? Not the subframe, just the main primary frame. I have no idea if that's out of my element or not. Do I want to have the guy in Southern California do it for me for like maybe less than $1,000 because everything else is pretty much going to be new? I don't know. He said that also includes like doing bushings and stuff like that. So I guess, are there bushings here in like the rear swing arm that I need to replace? I have no idea. Let me get your thoughts on that. I'm sure there's some YouTube videos on how to replace a dirt bike frame that I could watch. But I guess my question is, if I'm tearing it down to this level already, should I go ahead and replace the frame? And then if the motor's out, should I go ahead and like deep clean the motor and get all the gunk out of it? Should I then also go ahead and do the top end? Should I then also at least do a valve check and replace some of the gaskets? While I'm in there, should I then just go ahead and do the transmission and the covers? I kind of feel like the riding season in New Hampshire is only so long, and so I'd kind of rather get all this shit on it. And then, when I get the garage done in the winter, tear the bike down again and do that project, the frame project. Because that might take me a month or so if I'd forget a part or something. And since Beta's in California and does ground shipping, everything takes 5 to 7 days to get to me. So, yeah, let me know what you think. I'm honestly very, very curious what you think about that thought process is. Adam, you're insane. The bike, when you received it, especially if you're Harry watching this, the bike, when you received it, was in riding condition. Stop spending money and ride the motorcycle. Or, Adam, spend the extra $1,500 total for frame and consumables and, borrow a lift from a friend and just do the project and call this bike, whatever for the rest of the year, ride it in October instead of August. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your feedback on that. But that's the beta update. Appreciate you guys watching. And yeah, I hope the bike is nice. I haven't ridden it before, but I hope it's a nice, last thing. Speaking of wanting to do the drive stuff, the rear brake rotor, it has a lip. Can you see that? Can you see the lip on that brake rotor? It's thicker on the outside. All the outside pieces are thicker than the inside. Does that mean that the rotary should be replaced because it's too thin? I haven't measured it, but the rear brake rotor feels very thin. I'm not really a rear brake kind of guy. I use the rear framing more. I think most of us do. So I'm not really too worried about it, but should I go ahead and buy rear brake pads and a rear rotor while this is off? How about the rear sprocket? It looks like it's pretty good, right? Let me know. Y'all are my experts in this kind of stuff because I'm a GS rider. I don't know shit about drive components. I usually sell the bike and buy a new one before I need to replace the rear sprocket. And so maybe it's good. Yeah, let me know. And then here's the front socket. The chain looks good to me, but there's the front sprocket. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. And because there will be criticisms, no one's watching a 12-minute video on this stuff. Before there are criticisms, I got the bike for $4,000. Everyone calm down. It's a $4,000 dirt bike. So what if I put 3 into it, getting it all refreshed and tuned up into my liking? And if I put 4 into it, remember, a new Beta is like $10,000 at least. Then I'm going to spend an extra $2,000 getting that Beta race suspension added. And then I'm going to end up buying the $500 tires and the skid plate and the frame guards and the LED headlight and the shifter and the brake lever and the grips I want and the double take mirrors and the Recluse and the Trail Tech Voyager Pro and the lithium ion battery. I'm going to buy all that stuff anyway. And so I got the base bike for $4,000. And the worst thing I have to do is basically replace a bunch of parts I was going to replace anyway. So I'm actually still very, very stoked on this project and this bike. And the next few videos you're going to watch are going to be me, hopefully this weekend, getting a lot of this stuff going. Unless the comments come in and say, Adam, stop, order your frame. Just do that because the bike is already down to its frame. I got to drill some holes in this this timber in order to rig the bike up so I can replace the frame, I guess. I've never pulled a motor from a dirt bike before, so I have no idea what I'm doing.